that one. That was a tough loss. Guys, this next act, I just want to ask you, is this your family you brought?
No. Yeah.
That's amazing, because I don't let my family see me, because I don't want to hear me talking about cocaine and my sleep apnea. Like, it's fantastic. Guys, so excited for next act. Put your hands together for the very funny Jonathan Saulnier.
Amazing, yeah. That's my crazy family sitting in the corner, making all that noise. Woo! And, but yeah, my name is Jonathan Saulnier. I'm 25 years old. Woo! I know, amazing, right? I've also been doing comedy for 6 months now. Woo! Amazing, I know, tremendous. But you know, doing comedy, you know, a lot of people say comedy strives at a sadness and tragedy, which to me, I think I've always agreed with. One, because, you know, now this may not be a sad story, but it turns into a sad story. Because about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I finally got the courage and the balls to actually ask a lady out for coffee. I know, pretty amazing, hey? But the sad part about it, she stood me up. I know, what a bitch. But the positive thing about the story is, you know, turns out you can't be stood up by a lady in a wheelchair. Oh, wow. Well, that's a curveball. Woo-wee. But you know, as I said, I've been doing comedy for 6 months now, and stand-up to be exact, because I've actually been doing comedy my whole life. And I started doing comedy through magic. And I host a comedy magic show at a place called the Toronto West KOA, and I've been doing it for 2 years. Now, some people like to say that during the show, I'm pretty sociable. And then some people like to say that I'm actually very sociably awkward, which I think is more true, because this is a true story. This one lady, she walked up to me and she's like, you know, sir, I found you very socially awkward on stage. Do you have Asperger's? And I always thought that was a pretty strange question to ask me, because usually that's my pickup line. Wow, yet another curveball. Now, as I did say, my parents are here and my mother's sitting right there. Now, she's never heard my stand-up, so let's give it up to her. Because, whoa, this is a real curveball. Oh, I know that. Just like this joke, you've never heard it? And brace yourself, mother. Because, as I said, I am a comedian, and I'm also a magician. Now, I've been a magician my whole life, and I know this because when I was a kid, I asked my mom. I was like, hey, Mom, where'd my dad go? And well, she responded with, well, son, that's how you got into magic, because you made him disappear. Then I realized, shit, yeah, I guess that is why I've been in magic my whole life, because I've spent the last 25 years trying to make him reappear. Oh, wow, that's a dark one. Sorry, Mom. Wow, alright, we're just gonna move south. So, you know, as you all can tell, I gotta have some symptoms or something to help me through this dark comedy. Ooh, it's dark. And so one way to help me out through the dark comedy is smoking weed, which is amazing. Got any weed smokers in the room?
No.
No? Well, I am. So, woo! Amazing. And that's also a lie. Anyways, because here's the thing. You know, people say, like my parents and my father has told me, you know, John, if you continue to smoke weed, you're going to become lazy, you're going to forget everything, and you're going to lose all of your ambitions. I totally disagree. Why? Because I've always been very ambitious to always pick up again, and I've always been very ambitious to keep smoking, because I never forgot to. Not once, you know? Because you're not going to find a weed smoker who's forgot to smoke. Never going to happen. Right? Like the only time a weed smoker will forget something is when a man's jerking off and he forgets to take his hand off his dick. You know? That's because the weed is too good, and it was too good of a feeling, so he passed out before he could do it. Right? Now, another thing about weed, though, is that there's two things that go hand in hand with weed, right? And that is weed and video games, which is true. Because one thing, also my parents have told me, is that if I continue to smoke weed and play video games, you know, that I'm going to be lazy and forgetful. Right? And I'm never going to achieve anything. Which I always found also contradictory, because when I would go to my PS4 again, right, that would tell me that I actually have hundreds of achievements. You know, hundreds. You know, and some of the achievements are huge. Like, ruler of the 7 kingdoms. That's right, I'm a king. Right? And you know what people call me? The Dragonborn. Slayer of dragons. That's right, I've slayed dragons. And I've even slayed dragons with my bare hands, just to see if I could do it. But you know, as time moves on and the environment changes, you gotta grow up and you gotta adapt and get new, achievements in your life. Like, for example, I learned business management and product, management. So what that helped me do? Run the town of Los Santos. What does that mean? That's right, I'm a drug lord. Oh, wow. That's a video game joke that probably half of you don't get because you're too old. And that's okay. We're just going to move on anyways. Woo! I know, amazing. Wow! Woo! Anyways, so, there's been a lot of things that have confused me, like when I smoke weed. Like, for example, I have to write comedy and weed helps me out do that, sometimes. And one thing that's always confused me, and one thing that helps me get inspiration, is a page called Instagram. A lot of you are on it, I bet 90% of you are. And here's the thing, I don't think some of the people who created the hashtags really understood what they were creating, or understood what it represented. Because here's the thing, in my day, a hashtag was actually something like, hash was something you smoked, and a tag was something you got taken off at the doctor's. Right? So I didn't know what a hashtag was. So when I heard the hashtag, for example, hashtag me too, right? To me that read out, pound me too. Wow, I kind of fucked that joke up. All right, we're gonna move on. But I was just gonna say, because like, no offense, people, but if you're not looking to get harassed, maybe throwing around the hashtag, me, pound me too, probably isn't the greatest way to, defend off the harassment. But before you guys move south, I'm gonna leave you off with this one because I can already see the plane moving. And when you do comedy for 6 months and you smoke weed, you probably have this thought when you're smoking a joint, you're like, hey man, is there somebody on the other side of the world who's smoking a joint who looks exactly like me? Right? And there's probably that same guy who's on the other side of the world smoking a joint, like, hey man, is there someone on the other side of the world who's smoking a joint who looks exactly like me? It's probably true, because I was doing a set at the comedy bar, and for the first time ever, I saw a guy who looked exactly like me. I know, pretty weird, right? So I had to address it. I was like, excuse me, sir, you look exactly like me. And I got all excited, and I thought he was gonna be like, yeah, we do look kind of the same, like devilishly handsome man, and that's pretty good. But no, he didn't say that. He actually gave this kind of the gross, disdain, like, gross. Like, I look like this guy? Fuck, And I'm like, what do you mean? Gross. We look the same, buddy. Like, way to build both of our self-confidence, you dick. Wow, that's been a great time with you guys. So we're going to bring up your host, because I have no idea how long I've been up here for. My name is Jonathan Saulnier, and you guys been a great audience.
Jonathan Saulnier, everybody. Keep it going. That was brave. I could never do that in front of my family. I'm gonna tell you a story about my mom that I tell behind her back every day. She's never heard this once. I live at home with my super religious, super conservative mother, and I also keep it rolling. And I also